Alright, I have an important update, a discovery. This green connector, it is taped off on this side and on that side with black tape. I don't know if that is similar to all Sym ADX 125s, but mine was. I put some measuring equipment on it, and this turns out to be a 12-volt switched system. It delivers plus 12 volt, and it switches on with the system and it switches off with the system. So this you can use as a lead for switchable equipment like GPS equipment. Let's start with the disassembling. It's a nice hook. Put it in contact and open the sheet. Alright. There's a screw. And there and there. You take off this tool first. And this is the door to the battery compartment. This one holds the seat and a safety strip, a metal safety strip to keep the battery in place, which is also mounted here under the cover. Take this one and screw them. These two in front. In the back there is this one, and under the rubber there are two more on both sides. Now we have these funny things. How do you disconnect them? Well, let me show this. You take a small screwdriver with a fine tip. Just an ordinary screwdriver. Focus. Then you go in the middle and gently push it in. Then you use a screwdriver to gently pry it out. To connect them, you push it out again like this. Put them in place firmly, then push it in, first click. Now I did it a little bit too much because you have to do it with both hands. Actually, but again, that's it. Those are the screws and that thingies, I have no clue how they actually called, that you have to unlock, unscrew to disassemble your entire sheet. And the sheet with the hinge is connected on this part, on your storage part, and it comes off in a hole. I'm not doing it now because the scooter is reassembled already, but I made this video on a later day. Yeah, he's a little bit annoying. He started to talk to me. The same you will find here. That's one, and one at the other side, of course. And I don't know if I can. Yes, there is one over here. That takes off the entire part. I painted red, and this part. Just ignore all this stuff, that's all custom made. This part is the carrier, let me call it the carrier of the windshield. And usually this one and this one are mounted at the same place as this one and this one. And the window is of a different type and is a clear type. This is a dark smoke type. My video starts at the seat and this part already disassembled. So that's why I decided to make this video later, but you will see it first. Is this difficult to understand? Yeah, it is. But it will be a lot more difficult to disassemble the rest. Alright. I'm preparing the bike now for the extra lights, to connect all electronics, and as you see, it's a mess. It's pretty difficult to get the fairing off, except for the sheet. That's pretty straightforward. It is really looking for the connections as they are at the underside and everywhere. I have a problem to get this off, but I want to show you a thing. A light like this is almost a must have. You can, and I don't know if I can make it visible, and then I pushed the wrong button on the camera. Behind there is some screw, and there is a little, you see there, a little part you have to move downward with a very long screwdriver to get it out. And this whole scoot is full of that kind of secret points. It's actually very hard to find it all out. When I have it off, I try to make a new video, because at the underside of the scoot all screws are off and it still hangs together. You must be very careful with this. So we will see. It consumes an awful lot of time, and there is absolutely nothing to find about the Sym ADX on the internet, nor the 125, nor the 150. I put away my camera, I continue, and maybe we continue the video. It looks like we have no other choice than tear the whole thing down. Open the fuel cap. Let's get me a light. And there you see the holes. Above, left and right of the fuel cap. On the other side also. You can find here and there. Both sides, is two of them. Down there is another one. And then it clicks off. It's ABS, do it very gently with a slight force of your fingers. Don't use tools. A slight force. Move around a little bit. Just feel. If the tension got too much, stop. It is not plastic like this, a dirt bike plastic, which is unbelievably strong. The neck screws can be found above your electric lock on this side, and the other one there on that side. Get them off, and anything is still in place. So we continue once more. Are very hard to reach places. I can hardly film it with my camera, but there is somewhere down there, and there is somewhere up there. It's so small, so narrow, I can't even reach it with the camera. Maybe it's visible, maybe it's not. Well, you hear me breathing. Screws I hardly can reach. And I'm not half the biggest of hands, despite my size. I'm running into a dead end now. All the screws I have to unlock now to get the fairing off, they are all from the inside. And they are extremely hard to reach. Extremely hard. Even with specialized tools. I have the impression that somehow they unlock the front end and take the entire front end off. You see a seam here, and this screw holds them together, but it's from the inside out. And also how this is all mounted together, that parts, it's all from the inside out. I have no problem seeing screws to the outside of a vehicle like this, especially because it's specified as a terrain vehicle. Here, from this distance you can pick all the screws of a Husqvarna. You see all of them. So what? It's not a problem. It can even be beautiful. It does not have to be hidden how a thing is actually all hangs together. But this is I can't find any more outside screws. I will do another research with that very sharp pinpointing light I have. See if we can find a hidden gem, a hidden secret. But I'm afraid not. I discovered two more, and maybe we can go from the other side, and that's of the fairing, this part. There is one and one on the other side, and you see what I have in my hands here, a very long extension, and without this special part you are not able to take this scooter apart. You need to have that. Unfortunately, behind the front wheel of the dirt bike, I have 3 boxes full of it. But sometimes I wonder if that is enough. I will see if I can unlock those screws, and maybe we can go from underneath the way up. Alright, next nasty thing. We have here that white thing here that keeps the cables in place, and it is mounted through that hole, keeping that whole piece of fairing up. Notice that one. Of course there is another click system. You see it there. I need to swap camera in the other hand. You see it here, gently lift it up with screwdriver, and that's it. Why making things easy if you can do it difficult? Well, I need all of my hands again, so let down of the camera, see if we can get it off finally, and if we can do anything from underneath. The whole top, well, it's not necessary actually to remove it. The main goal is to have that, how do you call it, thing of beauty, because it has no function to replace it by lights. That's what we're working on. And of course, an electric wire all the way from the battery up here, so we can connect anything on top of it. What I want is to make a system that I can only take this one off and then have a box somewhere located here, which gives me access to those hotspots, the positive and the negative, to connect things and to future connect more or less just what is needed, without doing all this trouble again. Believe it or not, I worked for 6 hours on it, and with my work on it yesterday even 8 hours. To compare that to the Husqvarna Supermoto, in 6 hours I got the entire engine in pieces, replaced the clutch plate, replaced a bearing on the outgoing axle of the transmission box, the gearbox, put everything together again and have it up and running. That's the difference. Well, it looked like it is finally disconnected, but not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. No, 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 it's not that easy. It's certainly not a Japanese product. And look at this. This keeps it all up. I must all disconnect this. How fun is that? But am I going to do that? Not yet. Mind, we need to be at the lights. So maybe by lowering this 10 centimeters, that is the space it gives me, maybe it's just enough to replace those fake inlets by real lights. Maybe. I continue. With more click and clack and clickety clack, I managed to get this one off. If you want to do it gently, you have to pull this one off, and therefore you have to pull that one off. And therefore, after that, you have to pull that one off. So the entire rear is naked. Yeah, it's getting more and more handy all the time. One off, the other one to go. If it is mounted the same way. As I discovered, this bike is not built symmetrical. What is on the left side does not have to be on the right side. And we continue. Anything hangs loose. This is all with those pesky hooks again. Gently tap it to the inside. With a light controlled force. And here in the darkness is another hidden screw. We have seen so many of them. If they costed $100 each, well, another pesky one right over there. I closed the door because I'm working straight against the sunlight. I can't see what I do with black in black. And I see here, there's another one. The adventure goes on. Alright. With some gently tapping and shifting and moving and an educated gamble, we got it finally off. And now I will discover if I took off a little more screws than needed. It seems so in this front panel here, but on the other hand, by removing that screws, you have just a little play. It opened up just that few mils better. Oh my gosh. Oh, important thing, those two wires, they connect to these two wires over here. Go stand in front of the scooter like this, and then you see my knees, have the fairing rested on your knees so you can nicely undo those connectors, disconnect them without the whole thing falling down the floor. Of course, some soft farmer bed sheets under it. Oh my goodness. At least I found a nice pad for my wiring. After all, was it needed to get this thing loosened up all the way? Probably not. But at least it gives me some space to look into it with my light and see what is going on there. Can I find it? This one. The other one at the other side, it's all black. It's all hard to see. Maybe now we see him. That was not necessary to loosen them. And I need my hands for a while. These ones, left and right of the Sym, how do we name it? This thing. I can't use hands now. You see two screws, it was not necessary to lose them either. And after all, it gave me some insight and some workspace, but it was also not necessary to lose this one and this one and the other side. So this one could be held there, but I'm not very sure of it. Anyway, it gives some space to attach the wires. First, the lights. There is one, and is also at the opposite side. This one are already loosened, and those are needed for those lights. I thought this one was broken, but that's not true. It's not broken. It belongs that way. I don't know why. We will find out. Rectification. This one and this one needs to get out. You need to remove this side panel in order to mount the lights on that side panel. Here, and another one is there, and a third one is there. They're the small lips you need to carefully remove with the remove. They need to be moved in this direction with a set of pliers. So do it gentle, but you need some force, but not too much. More screws need to be removed. This one of the light unit and this one. And now he will be probably come loose. I need both hands, so I shut down the camera. Alright, here it is. Turn it around. And these are all the clips. I call them clips. I don't know if that's the right English name. These are all the clips. Be very gentle with it, because when they break off, you have a problem. And now we can reach this last screw of this silver part and this must be replaced by the new lights. Alright, let's go on. Next to the light unit, and he's beautifully the same. There's only this one, and I don't know where it belongs. It does not fit here, but this is a rather heavy unit compared to this one, so I think it needs some extra support somewhere. We'll find out. And I continue. An important thing I almost forgot. The unit got delivered with screws. This is the same size as this original Sym screw, but they are slightly longer because this is metal and it's thicker, it's heavier. So use the screws delivered with the unit. One done, one to go. One screw, two screws. Loosen that one and replace that one by the screws who are delivered with the new light units. Alright, that one is off. Before I continue, I have a very important thing to say. Here you see a metal clip for one of the screws. Here, this is all plastic. This is all plastic. This is all plastic. And there are more. There's another one over here. This is ABS plastic, as most fairings of motorcycles are today. Do not over tighten this one. When time passes by, they tend to break in the length because the screw push it apart from each other. If you over tighten it, they will break a lot faster, and when they are broken, it's very difficult to get that repaired. So tighten it by hand and do not hang on your screwdriver. Do it gently. The fact that they are loosened with a little tough, a little resistance, and then bang, they go. That has to do with the squeezing effect of the plastic. If you over tighten it, you're not only destroying the screw thread in it, but it cannot squeeze anymore. So in the end of the day, your screw will slowly but surely unlock itself and you have loose parts. Another important thing, I start to reassemble this one first, but it's not tightened yet. You need some space because you need to maneuver this one in place. There is a little pin that comes in this hole, the other pin comes in that hole, and you need to maneuver and bend a little bit around with the plastic to click that in, and then you also mount this screw, and then you can tighten this one, and then you can tighten that one. After you gently assembled the light unit on the body parts, you take them off again. The reason why you take them off is because a part goes over here, and that is this part. So you take them gently off, you connect these parts together, these hooks click in that slot, and one screw here and one screw there, join them together permanently. First this one, and tighten them gently. It's plastic. If you over tighten them, then after years, I told it before, the part where like this, it's standing apart, no name how it is called. You see one over here, and underneath there there's another one. And let's we call it a mounting piece, a screwing piece, I don't know. My English is not too good. If you over tighten it, it starts to break in this directions, losing its power. So do not over tighten it. Even with a small stubby screwdriver like this, you easily over tighten them. The parts are now together. You see the hooks over here and over there. And now it's time to remount the light unit. Alright, first this one, and don't tighten him, give it a mill. Then screw this one in, tighten it up, and then tighten that one up. As last one, that one over there. This one is plastic, so do not over tighten. This one, I show you. Focus, focus, focus. It's metal. And on the other side too. So those screws can be tightened gently a little bit more because the unit itself is all metal and quite heavy compared to the plastic part that it has replaced. And here we have the complete light units mounted on the bodywork. And the next step is to mount it on the fairing, the large part of the fairing that also contains the headlight unit. It's getting more difficult now because everything gets more and more heavy. So like my floor is all cement, so work on an old sheet in a few layers. So you don't damage the new body parts. This part first. Don't look at the color. I painted it in red and this in black. I don't like that flat black, that matte black, so I made it in gloss black. It will be mounted like here. There and there are two pins. They align with these holes. One screw over here, one screw over there. But now I need to think, because I took a lot apart. Am I a little bit too fast with my decision to mount this? Because do we have screws? We have screws under for the light unit. Not screws, actually a lot more bolts. And I don't see anything. There's a hole over there, but apparently that's for the wire connections. Have we ever any important things to? No, I think it can be done. So we mount it. It clicks in. There are several screws. Let's continue. First, the light unit with his fairing has to be clicked in to the red and black unit. And tighten the screws where you can find them. Then the whole unit must be mounted around the pins, and underneath there are the two holes. Here, this grey dots, those are the pins. Screw over here, screw over there, and one over there. So first, the light units, click them into there and screw them. It's okay. I have one loosely fitted in. There is a hole over here for a screw. Another one is over there. And then here, that is in metal. So you are using the last two metal screws who are provided with the light units. You are using all the screws provided with the light unit. As I told you, this is metal, it's quite thick, so you need longer screws. Well, let's do a lot of screwing again. Both sides, of course. Okay. All three screws are in position. 1, 2, 3. But they are not tightened yet. First see if everything is alright. All the hooks are clicked in their slots and everything fits perfectly. So gently slightly, just with a few fingers, no more, and then turn it around and make sure everything connects well. Then tighten the screws and do the other side. Alright, the next problem. You see the hooks over here, and they will be mounted in that slot. And there are 4, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. You do this by gently grip this part, the other side, bend it out a little bit, drop this part over the nose, over the headlight unit, and click them into place. Be careful what you're doing and don't force. Absolutely don't force. They gently and smoothly slide into place. And there's the other one. Can I find him? Yes, there's the other one. I need to lower the camera a little bit. And of course, at the other side. Make sure that everything connects well to the fairing, is in position. This hole, this little slot, slides about over that pin. That one over that pin. The screws match up and the holes. There's one, there's one. And that's the front part you start out with, and then you gently turn it around and finding the screws at the inside of the fairing and tighten the thing up. Be careful again, it's plastic. I have turned over the fairing. 3 of this kind of screws. They're a little bit thicker than the rest and they have a large head. 1 in the middle, number 2, and there is number 3. And that connected to the headlight unit. If you have tightened those 3 larger screws, then you are left with 2 more. 1 over here, and 1 of course in the other side. They screw into a metal clip, so they can be tightened slightly. I said slightly more torque, but do it by hand. Just turn the screw a few degrees more, that's enough. Alright, so far we have us the new lights mounted. But you're not done yet. There's another trick. And there's this one. He falls over here. And with the hook and a slot, he clicks underneath here. Approx in the middle. We are not mounting it yet, because here's a screw. And that belongs to something up there. So we do this as a last part. It gives us also a little space to watch and to see on the inside if we do the things right. On video it always looks so smooth and so beautiful and faultless and without mistakes. Oh yeah. Why is this screw not on its place? Well, I lost one screw. I heard it drop. And yes, that's the old Husky, for those who can remember these videos, the riding videos from this supermoto. It is somewhere under the press, it is somewhere under the bucket full of screws, another bucket full of screws, and another funny places. And maybe even under the front wheel of the sidecar. So I have to clear it all out to find it back. Or I'm gonna find myself another screw that fits in there. But make sure it's a right one. Make sure it looks like this. Focus, focus, focus. But with a smaller head that fits in here. And the color, well, it was a black one, but when it's a silver one, it doesn't matter, you will never see it, as this part is covered.